Y'all, how are y'all doing this? How are y'all surviving with how expensive everything has become? Especially those who are like single mothers with no help. Like, how are y'all doing this? I have a whole spouse. We have two rental properties. Two of our four cars are paid off. Thank the heavens. We have one kid still in daycare. So every Monday we have to pay her daycare. So we pay weekly. The groceries I spend on my family of five. They need snacks for school every week, every day. They need things, they need shoes, they need clothes, they need activities, they need to be mentally stimulated, they need to be outside. We can't have them on their iPads, but we need to feed them good. They need to eat balanced meals. But some days we might say F it and we finna hit up the drive-thru through a fast food place. But you're not doing that every day because you're trying to make sure that your children have a home-cooked meal most nights. So how are y'all doing this with how expensive things are? I told my husband, I said, thank God we're making it. Thank God we both have good paying jobs. We did what we needed to do in our 20s to set ourselves up for now. And I still feel like everything is so restricted. Like, we used to live so, like, I would never have to check my bank account, like, ever. Like, he and I got paid every week because our paydays were like off by a week. So since we got paid every 2 weeks, every Friday we had a check hit. So every Friday we had a good amount of money hitting. And yeah, so I'm looking like, dog, all of this stuff is so expensive, and thankfully we still get checks hitting, but with the children and all of their activities and all the things we need to consider at all times, I'm like, our salaries are big salaries, and yet I still feel like we're like a few checks away from losing it all. So I told my husband, I said, look, I do not want to be living this life thinking about the children when I still have life to live. Like, I get that we have 3 homes, a home for each one of our girls. I'm looking like I am ready to probably sell my one property that I bought when I was 25, 10 years ago. Next year will be 10 years that I've had the house. It's in such a great area in Smyrna, in Georgia, in Atlanta. It's in such a great area that I'm getting calls left and right about selling. And I really wanted to hold on to the house because it's such a good house. But I told my husband, I'm like, look, if I can't take my family on a vacation, if I can't spend spring break being with them, if I can't spend fall break, going on a trip with my children, like, what am I holding on to this stuff for? Like, what am I holding on to this house for? I want to be able to spend moments and quality time with my children because I don't know how much time we got. And I'm tired of trying to think about what they do, because then you'll see all these kids, they grow up and then something happens where, they end up you holding on to it for like years, struggling, or not struggling, but just like not doing the things you want to do so that your children can then you die and then they sell it. Hopefully, if they're smart enough, they'll keep it, they'll look at it. But most siblings, when, y'all know how it goes, when the maternal person passes away, it's like everyone kind of diffuses. So no one is doing things for the greater good of what it could be. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I'll sell because I want to be able to take the equity out of my house. And every chance we can get as a family, we're out of here. And as a family of 5, it's north of $5,000 to $7,000 if I want to right with the hotel and the flights. It's gonna be, and I don't want to be feeling like I can't do nothing with my children, because we gotta be cognizant of just paying the damn bills. Not to mention, if something goes wrong at the house, like if something goes wrong in the house, you have to come out of pocket, y'all. Literally in the last 6 months to 9 months, we had so much car issues. My transmission on my Cadillac went out. The starter on my husband's Maserati went out. Then we had to, my husband has a truck, a Hummer truck for work. Something went out on that. We spent so much money in the last 6 to 9 months. And I'm like, anyone else that would get hit with this amount of rainfall and thunderstorm and freaking hurricane, they wouldn't be able to survive this. This would literally break them. So I'm asking you, how are y'all doing this on possibly one income with a child or 2 or 3 depending on you? How are y'all doing this? Because like I said, I think my husband and I, we do pretty well for ourselves, and yet I'm like, nah, I'm gonna have to sell my house, because I don't want to live uncomfortably, live my life being uncomfortable when I can. No, it don't make no sense. I know everybody's like, yeah, keep it. We'll still keep 2 houses. We'll still be smart. We'll still keep our jobs, but we need a little wiggle room. We need a little wiggle room. And I was one of those people, don't sell your house, don't sell your house. Eventually we're going to get, eventually it's going to be a renter. Everybody's going to rent. So everything is going to be owned by a property management company, which BlackRock is buying up all the property. And they're going to rent it out to people. And people won't be homeowners. And I'm like, no, we have to keep our homes. We as human beings have to keep our home. We have to try to keep our home. And now I'm just like, dog, they're trying to squeeze you out. They're trying to squeeze you out so you have no backup plan. And the backup plan is, okay, sell me your property. So then they can keep taking stuff. So it's everything is getting squeezed, ringed out. So those that are even doing that, you thought making the amount of money we made we would be set. But now it's they don't realize that too many people are bringing in funds like that. So they got to ring us out. And so the people at the bottom who, everything is so expensive. I'm trying to figure out how y'all surviving right now. How are y'all surviving?